Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. That's right, it's tutorial time, and today we are talking about rock spins.
Before we can get to any technical considerations on how a rock spin is achieved, we first need to consider rocks. Which ones are suitable for a rock spin, and which ones will make those rock spins absolutely phenomenal. The best kind of rocks for rock spins are ones that are flat on the top with enough surface area that you can happily get your entire body weight over the top of the rock. Something that's small and piddly, whilst that might make it very easy to spin quickly, is not going to be as good for doing those long, drawn-out, multi-spin rock spins. So a nice wide flat rock is good. You also want to make sure that, if possible, the water coming from upstream is just slightly lapping over the top end of the rock. This will make it much easier to drive the nose up onto the rock and achieve that spin. As to technique, I like to break it down into approach, spin, and dismount. On the approach, we need to treat this almost like we are breaking into the eddy that's probably going to be behind the rock. But instead of aiming to go into the eddy, we are aiming at the top end of the rock. So what that means is we have a decent amount of momentum carrying through. A few forward strokes will be sufficient for this. And we are approaching with a slight right to left or left to right momentum, depending on which side of the rock we're approaching. That final stroke as we approach the rock should pull the nose of the kayak up and onto the flat portion of the rock. In fact, ideally what you're aiming for is to get your hips over the top of the rock. Having successfully brought your hips over the top of the rock, the next thing to do is initiate the spin. The first and most important part of this is where your head is looking. If your head doesn't lead the turn, your rock spin will not be as smooth and effective as it could be. So what we want to do is lead that turn with the head, reaching all the way around behind us to plant a lovely reverse sweep all the way from the back of the boat round to the front. And you can then continue to do forward and reverse sweeps, depending, to continue that rotation. If a rock is nice and mossy on the top, then that's going to make your spin so much slicker. So look out for those as well. But the most important thing is that you are leading that turn with your head. That's going to generate more rotation through your body and therefore through the boat as well.
I briefly interrupt this tutorial to thank you so much for tuning in. If you're here for the first time and you're enjoying it, then please do consider subscribing. It makes a big difference to me, and it means that more people get to see and benefit from this content. Likewise, if you are enjoying it, then please do leave a like down below and share this wherever you feel comfortable. If you've got a suggestion of a tutorial or other video that you would like to see, then please do put that in the comments down below, and I'll look forward to reading some of those and hopefully taking action on them. Thank you so much to IR and to Radical Rider, two companies that keep me dry and keep me floating out here on the river. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Right, let's get back to the tutorial. Woo!
We then come to part 3, the dismount, and this is sometimes easy, sometimes the part where things start to get messy. So in order to dismount cleanly, there comes a point when instead of leading the turn with your head is starting to look for that dismount point. Now, either that is going to be on the upstream edge of the rock to the left or the upstream edge of the rock to the right. So you turn, look for one of those, and actively seek to turn the boat so that it is facing back upstream to one of those upstream edges. And that way you can then slide neatly off that top edge of the rock and effectively peel out off the rock as if you were leaving an eddy. Obviously this is the smoothest way to do it. It is by no means the only way. You can simply drop off the back of the rock or off the side. This will inevitably happen at times when you're practicing. However, it is far more likely if you end up either facing backwards on the top end of the rock or even the side of the rock, that you're going to end up in a slightly more vertical, perhaps unstable position. Learning to play with the rocks that are in the river is one of the best things you can do to upskill your entire kayaking. In fact, learning even just to place that final stroke to lift the nose up onto a rock is one of those key skills that will inform how you interact with the water, and particularly as you progress, how to boof. It's one of those key skills of timing, stroke placement, and body positioning, and carrying momentum across the current. That is so vital to higher level attainment in whitewater.
Whew, there we go. That is the amazing rock spin. Hopefully you're able to get out and put this one into practice. It is so good for your overall boat handling to give this a try. Really hope you enjoyed this and that you're able to get out and give it a go. Thanks for watching. See you next time.